both sides, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
This is breaking news. As of just a few hours ago, Joe Biden has announced that he will not be dropping out of the presidential race for now. And I guess emphasis on for now, because we obviously know that things can change between now and the DNC still. But as of the current hour, Joe Biden has announced he's going to be staying in the presidential race, and we'll give you that news here today. So, all right, folks, welcome to today's emergency video. If you like the content, as usual, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. But yesterday, the news media ran this headline saying that Joe Biden today is going to be holding a meeting with his family to discuss the future of his re-election campaign, and those are the words that they were running. Now, a lot of people obviously speculated, saying, okay, is this the meeting where he sits down with his family and the family convinces him, Joe, it's time to hang it up, it's time to drop out? This is obviously the news that a lot of people within Democrat strategy groups were hoping for, because everyone saw Thursday night's debate and said this guy is cooked in regards to the election. But apparently that meeting has just concluded, and Joe Biden and his family are going to be staying in the presidential race. So let's read the breaking news here from the New York Times. It says, Biden's family tells him to keep fighting as they huddle at Camp David. President Biden is trying to figure out how to tamp down the current Democrat anxiety. But okay, here is apparently what happened at this Camp David meeting. President Biden's family is urging him to stay in the race and keep fighting despite last week's disastrous campaign performance, even as some of his clan privately expressed exasperation at how prepared he was for the event by staff. People close to the situation said on Sunday. Mr. Biden huddled with his wife, children, and grandchildren at Camp David while he tried to figure out how to tamp down Democrat anxiety. While his relatives are acutely aware of how poorly he did against former President Trump, they argued that he could still show the country he is capable of serving another 4 years. Well, my question there is, how exactly is he going to prove that? But whatever, I'm just saying, right? Like, is he going to have some magical comeback? The simple fact of the matter is that what we saw at Thursday's debate was not really a fluke. The simple fact of the matter is Joe Biden's not fit to serve another 4 years, and that's been showing repeatedly. It's not just about the debate. It's about everything we've seen in public on, Joe Biden's gaffes and not being able to find stages and pooping his pants and all this stuff, but whatever. Okay. Again, as I will reiterate, I keep saying every single video, if they want to keep Biden, let them do it, because it's good for us. But okay, check this out. I think this part is really, really funny. One of the strongest voices imploring Mr. Biden to resist pressure to drop out was his son, Hunter Biden, whom the president has long leaned on for advice, said one of the people informed about the discussion. So, that tells you everything you need to know. Gee, folks, I really wonder why Hunter Biden would be the guy who does not want Joe Biden to drop out. It's because that way Joe Biden can help shield Hunter from the current criminal prosecution. So that's very telling. It's kind of funny to think about. Of course, Hunter's begging, no, Dad, please don't drop out. But then on top of that, I think this factoid is really funny, whom the president has long leaned on for advice. Oh, really? So this is the guy who is guiding policy decisions of the president of the United States, Hunter Biden, who's a guy with, as we well know, a lot of problems, a lot of corruption, a lot of issues. That's the guy who's helping Biden run the country. That's the guy who's giving Joe Biden advice. So it's funny on multiple levels in that regard. But anyways, Hunter Biden wants Americans to see the version of his father that he knows, scrappy and in command of the facts, rather than the stumbling, aging president that Americans saw on Thursday night. Okay, I'm sure that's the assessment. It definitely has nothing to do with the fact that, he's going to help you not go to jail. Yeah, I'm sure, right? But yeah, folks, there you have the news. Joe Biden's family has convinced him to stay in the race. And Red Eagle Politics has a funny tweet here in prediction of how the meeting was going to go. He said, "Let me tell you how it's going to go. Jill, do you want me to run?" Jill Biden responds, "Yes, my little Jojo, you're doing great." Okay, because you see that from Jill Biden. Jill just won't stop hyping up her husband, which I guess to a certain degree is endearing, you know, at least she's sort of loyal. But on the other hand, it's kind of elder abuse because you need to just check him with reality. No, you are an old man. You belong in retirement care, but instead you're trying to run the country here. But yeah, that is pretty accurate. Jill is like, "Keep running, Joe. You're doing amazing." Hunter's like, "Please, Dad, don't drop out." And Joe Biden at the center of it, very mentally unaware, is just like, "Okay, that's what you guys want me to do, then I'm going to go do it." So yeah, again, folks, Joe Biden not dropping out of the presidential race. Now, there may be deeper reasons why than simply Joe Biden's ego, because obviously a lot of Democrats look at this news and say, why? I mean, why not replace Joe Biden? We're going to freaking lose with him as the candidate. I pointed this out in the last video, but if you didn't see it, I might as well bring this up again because it's once again relevant here. The reason why they might not be able to replace Biden as much as everyone really wants to is that it's not as easy as a simple substitute. You know, you're not just sending in the backup quarterback here or something. There are huge procedural and legal issues that they would run into if they tried to undemocratically switch out Biden at the last second. First of all, procedurally, there's the question of how would this play out at the Democratic National Convention when you've already sent all these delegates who are going to vote for Biden? What if they nominate Biden anyway, and they're doing the nomination process virtually because of the Ohio issue? And so, again, I'm just bringing this all up to say there's logistical issues. But on top of that, there may actually be legal issues. We talked about this once. Let's talk about it again, though, just for people who didn't see it. Charlie Kirk points out that in Wisconsin, it is already too late to remove Joe Biden from the ballot. Wisconsin is obviously a key battleground state, and likely if Biden wants any path to 270, he's going to need to win Wisconsin in this election. Well, in that state, their filing deadline and all that has already passed. In Nevada, after tonight, the fourth Friday in June, it will be too late to remove Joe Biden. That's another battleground state. And in Georgia, only a few weeks remain before it will be too late to remove Biden from the ballot. So that's the issue that Democrats might run into, is even if you can overcome the procedural headache it would be to try to replace Biden at the convention, you still have this legal issue of, is the Democrat replacement even going to be legally eligible to be on the ballot? Which might not matter if it's in, say, Alabama or South Carolina or something, but these are three key battleground states that Joe Biden's replacement would not be eligible for if they decide to go through with this. Now, you could hope maybe they're going to win battles in court to get the replacement, and that's possible. It's also possible, though, that it doesn't work out that way. So are you going to take the gamble? Are you going to bank on the courts allowing you to be on the ballot? Because if the courts say no, you have lost the election. You know, guaranteed. So anyways, as you can see here, Wisconsin does not allow withdrawal from the ballot for any reason besides death. So that's an issue, obviously, if you want to replace Joe Biden. In Nevada, no changes can be made to the ballot after 5 p.m. on Friday, the fourth Friday in June of an election year, unless a nominee dies or is adjudicated mentally insane or mentally incompetent, which I went over in the last video. Sure, maybe you could do the mentally incompetent thing, but that's not just a matter of the Democrats saying he's mentally incompetent. It's going to require the courts to rule him mentally incompetent, I believe, if I'm not mistaken there. And if Biden were to withdraw less than 60 days before the election, in Georgia, his name will remain on the ballot, but no votes will be counted. And of course, in other states like Texas, South Carolina, that also can't happen either. So obviously they could look at it and say, okay, we don't care because those are not swing states. But 3 swing states, legally speaking, it looks like you're not going to be able to withdraw. Of course, the convention, again, just huge procedural issues. It does look like they're stuck with Joe Biden, and that, of course, may be the reason. But yeah, there is today's news to reiterate. Joe Biden announces he will be staying in the presidential race. Joe Biden says, "Yay, Joe, you told him the facts. Yes, you're the most competent president ever. You're totally not mentally declining. Yay, Joe, do it." You told him, Joe. So, I think we all got to thank Jill Biden here, truly, because she has ensured with her just brown-nosing of her husband, even though, her husband's totally not living in reality, that looks like, all things considered, most likely, again, things can change, but most likely, we are going to have the great privilege of running against a very weak and very declining and very politically unviable Joe Biden in November. So here's to hoping and praying and doing the work to make sure we deliver that election victory, because now they've handed the playing field in our favor for sure. So let's make sure we finish the job, make it happen. That's it, folks. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section below. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And until next time, Alpha Moves Only, God bless. Have a very great rest of your day and peace.